Finding a mech game these days is easy. Finding one with good PvP, that's a different story. While a few titles scratch the itch, truly satisfying competitive mech battles are still rare. Mecha BREAK aims to enter that niche with the confidence of a high-budget anime intro, loud, dramatic, and dripping in style. Developed by Amazing Season, this free-to-play mecha hero shooter blends explosive PvP combat with stylish visuals and deep customization. But alongside its dazzling highs are some frustrating lows, particularly in its odd monetization choices and janky presentation outside the cockpit. So, is it a must-play or just another pretty mech game? Get in the mecha and join us at Game 8 as we dive into our review of Mecha BREAK. Let's get started. Mecha BREAK offers just enough story to justify why these metal titans are fighting in the ruins of civilization. The game takes place on a ravaged Earth where mercenaries, megacorps, and global factions fight for resources using customizable mechs. That's about as deep as it gets. There's a prologue that sets the stage and a few lore crumbs scattered across pilot bios and menus, but if you're looking for emotional arcs or branching narratives, this isn't the game for that. And oddly enough, that's okay. Mecha BREAK is a multiplayer-first experience. The lack of a deeper story means players can jump straight into the action without being bogged down by exposition. Still, the foundation is there. It's just never fully built upon. The world feels like it could support more character and intrigue if the devs chose to explore it.
Oh, is that all you got? Stay out of it next time!
This is where Mecha BREAK earns its stripes. The moment you enter a match, it becomes clear this game is all about delivering maximum hype with minimal downtime. You're dropped into massive, beautifully destructive arenas, piloting a mech loaded with unique weapons, abilities, and tactical tools. Each class, be it sniper, defender, assault, or support, plays differently enough to feel fresh match after match. The sheer variety of abilities leads to some unpredictable fights. One match might have you juggling snipers and aerial mechs, while the next is a close quarters brawl around objective zones. The movement feels tight and responsive with dashes, boosts, and vertical mobility allowing for a high skill ceiling without punishing newcomers. That said, it's not flawless. Some systems, like the mech's aiming limitations near terrain, can feel needlessly restrictive, and the hit detection sometimes acts more like a suggestion than a rule. There's also a strange lack of collision logic, with projectiles occasionally passing through cover or connecting when they clearly shouldn't. The hangar, which acts as a player hub, is visually neat but mostly pointless. You can walk around, talk to NPCs, and admire your mechs from below, but none of this adds much to the experience. Everything it does could have been handled through traditional menus. And then there's the other elephant in the room, monetization. Mecha BREAK is free to play, but that generosity stops there. Nearly everything outside the core combat loop is aggressively monetized. Want to switch out your mech's paint job from the default one? Too bad, cause you have to buy the colors you want to use. While these are cheap and you can grind these out, pilot outfits, mech skins, decals, even makeup and hair colors are all locked behind steep price tags. Some sets, like bundled mech and pilot skins, run upward of $50. It's not pay to win, but designing a mech and making it your own is a staple in the genre, one that feels frustratingly gated behind a paywall here. Thankfully, none of it is required to actually play or compete. Most of the mechs are free and the battle pass offers good value for those looking to support the game. But it's hard to ignore how much content that was previously accessible in beta is now locked behind microtransactions. Honestly, if the prices were even a bit more reasonable, or if there were more free options to mess around with, it wouldn't feel nearly as frustrating. In the end, gameplay is Mecha BREAK's saving grace. The moment-to-moment action is so solid that it's easy to overlook the game's monetization, at least until you want to express yourself through fashion. If you judge Mecha BREAK on looks alone, it's near flawless. Every mech is a love letter to the genre, a towering blend of armored plating, glowing engines, and absurd weaponry. They look and feel massive, thanks in large part to clever level design that places you beside grounded airplanes, skyscrapers, and military machinery for scale. The game makes sure you never forget the sheer size and power of what you're piloting. Customization is where the game truly shines. Players can paint their mechs down down to the smallest detail, change parts and decals, and even equip special transformations or effects. The stylization goes beyond combat. Scope UIs, ability markers, and boost trails are all over-designed in the best way possible. Everything is there to sell the fantasy of piloting a high-tech killing machine, and it does so beautifully. But the second you step out of your mech, things get weird. The pilots feel like they're from a completely different game. Their animations are stiff, their eyes lifeless, and their models slightly uncanny. There's an extensive customization suite for them too. Hair, outfits, tattoos, even screen for a face options, but none of it hides the fact that they feel half-baked. It's like the budget ran out the moment the mechs were done. Still, the overall presentation is a triumph. Mecha BREAK is one of the most visually confident shooters in years, and it knows it. Sound design is a mixed bag, skewing heavily toward almost great. The sound effects, explosions, cannon fire, melee impacts are top-notch. Each action sounds meaty and impactful, helping sell the fantasy that you're piloting a skyscraper-sized robot. The music though, that's where things stumble. It's not bad, but it feels like it was composed in a vacuum. Tracks that could have been powerful backing pieces are frequently drowned out by the chaos of combat. There's no dynamic layering or rising intensity, just static BGM that fades into the background, often forgotten completely. And then there's the English voice acting. To put it kindly, it's a mess. The delivery is robotic, the inflection unnatural, and the emotional range flat. It genuinely felt like early AI-generated voiceovers, which is ironic considering how futuristic everything else feels. Swapping to Japanese or Chinese dubs immediately improves the experience, making it feel less like a Saturday morning parody and more like the epic warzone it wants to be. Mecha BREAK is a thrill ride from the moment you launch into your first battle. The visuals are spectacular, the gameplay is tight and satisfying, and the range of mech designs and classes make every match feel unique. It's a game that understands what makes giant robot combat fun and leans into it with style, flair, and absolutely no restraint. But for all its flashiness, Mecha BREAK has some serious weak spots, namely its clunky hanger UI, awkward pilot designs, lackluster music, and some of the worst English voice acting in recent memory. And of course, the aggressive monetization casts a shadow over what is otherwise a game you'd want to recommend without hesitation. For that, we're giving Mecha BREAK a 76 out of 100. If you love giant robots, Mecha BREAK is absolutely worth your time. Just brace yourself for the sticker shock if you ever decide to crack open your wallet. But what about you? Are you diving into Mecha BREAK? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe for more reviews and gaming coverage. This has been Gaming, and thanks for watching.